The next section of FM 1-02 that you're going to frequently use are the different types of equipment symbols that are used to graphically display weapons, vehicles, air assets, and almost any other type of military equipment that you can think of. Like the unit symbols, most of these graphics aren't intuitive, and you're going to have to reference the manual in order to find some of the more rarely used symbols. However, it is crucial that you memorize some of the more common ones. Just like the unit symbols section, equipment symbols are made up of four components: the frame, color, icon, and texture graphic modifiers. Blue is still used to indicate friendly, red for hostile, green for neutral, and yellow for unknown affiliation. One note, many of the symbols are a catch-all. We may indicate the strength of a weapon by adding lines to the symbol. As you will soon see, the same icon is used for an M4 as well as an M2. However, we differentiate between the two by adding 3 horizontal lines to the M2 symbol to show that it is a heavier weapon. The first type of equipment symbol that you should know is the missile launcher. It's denoted by a dome covering the shaft of a weapon. The second symbol you should know is the rocket launcher. It's denoted by a double airhead over the shaft of the weapon. Note that rocket launchers are unguided assets while missiles are guided. The third type of equipment symbol that you should know is automatic weapons. These can be used to display weapons like the M4 up to the M2, as well as the AK-47 and PKM. Like I mentioned before, if you want to indicate a heavier weapon, such as if you want to show how the M2 is a heavier machine gun than the M4, you add 3 horizontal lines, like that's portrayed here in the second set of images. Those 3 horizontal lines can be used to differentiate between these two types of symbols. The next symbol you should know is the grenade launcher. It's the same icon as the automatic weapon, but it has a circle in the center of the shaft. Like the automatic weapons, adding horizontal lines can indicate a heavier weapon. One horizontal line can be used to represent a light grenade launcher. It can be used to represent a weapon system like the M203. If we use 2 horizontal lines on the image, it can be used to represent a medium strength grenade launcher. And finally, if we want to indicate a heavy grenade launcher, such as the Mark 19, we use 3 horizontal lines on the image, like the one that's portrayed in this middle set of symbols. Mortars are another commonly used equipment symbol. They are denoted by a vertical line with an arrow at the top and a circle at the bottom of the shaft. The circle at the bottom of the shaft is universal for meaning an indirect fire weapon system that can be scaled by adding additional horizontal lines. For example, 1 horizontal line can be used to represent a 60mm mortar, while 3 lines can mean a 120mm mortar. Howitzers are commonly used to describe field artillery units. The circle at the base of the shaft indicates that it is a high trajectory indirect fire weapon. Armored vehicles are another important equipment symbol that is used to portray different types of protected ground vehicles. For example, if we want to portray a wheeled vehicle, such as portrayed in this first row of symbols, we use this type of image, which combines the armored tank track with 2 small circles. If we want to portray a tank, like in the second set of symbols, we use a box with 2 lines extending on the sides. And then if we add additional vertical lines onto it, like this third set of symbols here, we can indicate the strength of the tank. For example, to portray a heavy tank, we use 3 vertical lines. Helicopters are incredibly useful for infantry units. The first set of symbols portrayed here are utility helicopters. In the second set of symbols, we have attack helicopters, but there are more symbols listed within the field manual that can be used to depict cargo and reconnaissance helicopters. The special category of equipment symbols is a catch-all term for equipment that doesn't fall neatly into any of the other categories. It includes things like lasers, nuclear, biological, and chemical equipment, smoke machines, flamethrowers, and more. The most common ones we'll use during IBOLC are landmines and then Claymore landmines.